Good morning, class. I hope you all are fine and safe. And this is the last video lesson of our second chapter, Land, Soil, Water, Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. So far, we have studied about the land resource, soil resource and water resource. In this class, we shall learn about the natural vegetation and the wildlife resources. So what will be the learning outcomes? By the end of this video lesson, you will be able to classify natural vegetation, explain the distribution of natural vegetation, and the methods of conservation of forest resources, assess the role of natural vegetation in growth and protection of wildlife. So let's start. Natural vegetation and wildlife. Natural vegetation and wildlife exist only in the narrow zone of contact between the lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere that we call biosphere. In this picture and about biosphere, you must have studied in class 6 and class 7 as well. So biosphere, it consists of lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. The narrow zone of contact between the lithosphere, the land, the hydrosphere, the water and the atmosphere, the air. So that contact of area, we call it biosphere. Here in this picture you can see this is hydrosphere, here it is atmosphere and this is lithosphere. So it comprises of biosphere. An ecosystem includes all of the living things in a given area interacting with each other and also with their non-living environment. Ecosystem, it consists of all the living things in a particular area, and it interact with each other. The living organisms, the living being, they interact with each other and also with the non-living things that is present in the environment, that is present in their area. So that is known as ecosystem. Plants provide us with timber, give shelter to animals, produce oxygen we breathe, protects soil so essential for growing crops and acts as shelter belt. Plants provide us with timber. As we know that plants, they are very much helpful for all of us. We get food, we get oxygen, we get wood for furniture and many more things we get from plant, and it also acts as the shelter belt. So if you remember in the conservation of soil, methods of conservation of soil, we have studied about the shelter belts. What is shelter belt? The growing up of trees all around the field so that the wind, the air, the blow of air, the force of air cannot pick up with the topsoil. So it also acts as a shelter belt. Wildlife includes animals, birds, insects, as well as the aquatic life form. They provide us milk, meat, hides, and wool. Hide, it is the skin. Hides are the skin of the animals. Aquatic life form. Aquatic life form is what? The fish, the life form which is inside the water. The fish, the different kind of living organism that is inside the water. They provide us with milk, meat, hides, and wool. And then we have the forests that are broadly classified into evergreen and deciduous forests depending on when they shed their leaves. Evergreen forests do not shed their leaves simultaneously in any season of the year. Deciduous forests shed their leaves in a particular season to conserve loss of moisture through transpiration. These forests are further classified as the tropical and temperate based on their location in different latitudes. Distribution of natural vegetation. The growth of vegetation depends primarily on temperature and moisture. The major vegetation types of the world are grouped as forest, grassland, shrubs and tundras that just now I told you. In areas of heavy rainfall, huge trees may thrive. The forests are thus associated with areas having abundant water supply. The huge amount of rainfall leads to dense forest, and the forest thus associated with the areas which is having the abundant water supply means the enough amount of water supply, they have the dense forest area. But as the amount of the moisture or as the amount of rainfall decreases, the size of the trees, they also decreases, or the density of the forest also decreases. In the regions of moderate rainfall, short stunted trees and grasses grow, forming the grassland of the world. In dry areas of low rainfall, thorny shrubs grow. In such areas, plants have deep roots and leaves have thorny and waxy surface to reduce loss of moisture by transpiration. Now, in the areas having low rainfall, the areas are dry areas, have thorny shrubs grow. Like the very less amount, the areas where we have very less amount of water, very less amount of rainfall, there we have thorny type of shrubs or the thorny type of grass. In such areas, plants have deep root. The root of the plants, they are so deep and the leaves are thorny and waxy surface to reduce the loss of moisture by transpiration. They have the thorny surface to reduce the loss of moisture. Vegetation of cold polar regions comprised of mosses and lichens. Forests are broadly classified as evergreen and deciduous depending on when they shed their leaves. This is what we have already discussed. Evergreen forests do not shed their leaves simultaneously in any season of the year. Deciduous forests shed their leaves in a particular season to conserve loss of moisture through transpiration. These forests are further classified as the tropical or the temperate based on their location in different latitudes. This type of forest, like the deciduous type of forest, they are further classified as the tropical or the evergreen forest, like tropical evergreen forest, temperate evergreen forest, then we have tropical deciduous forest, temperate deciduous forest. So that's why these forests are further classified as the tropical or the temperate based on their location in the different latitudes. To feed the large population of the world, large areas of forests have been cleared to grow crops. As we know that day by day the population is increasing. So to feed the large number of population of the world, the large areas of the forest are now cut down and cleared to grow crops for the purpose of agriculture. So they can feed the large amount of population. Forest cover all over the world is vanishing rapidly. There is an urgent need to conserve these valuable resources. So for our purpose, for our use, we are cutting down the forest and the number of the cutting down of forest is increasing day by day. And just now, as I told you, the increasing demand of population raised to the decrease in the forest areas or the cutting down of forest. So that's why there is an urgent need to conserve these valuable resources for our future generation and for us also, so that we can survive positively, we can survive in a healthy environment where it is conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife. Forests are our wealth. Plants give shelter to the animals and together they maintain the ecosystem. Changes of climate and human interferences can cause the loss of natural habitats for the plants and animals. Many species have become vulnerable or endangered and some are on the verge of extinction. Deforestation, soil erosion, constructional activities, forest fire, tsunami, and landslides are some of the human-made and natural factors which together accelerate the process of extinction of these great natural resources. The natural resources are extincting day by day. And the extinction of natural resources, it has increased and they are in danger. And what are the factors that lead to the extinction of the natural resources? They are deforestation, cutting down of forests, soil erosion, cutting up of soil, constructional activities, forest fire, tsunami, and landslides. The animals are posed for the collection and illegal trade of hides, skin, nails, teeth, horns, as well as feathers. These are done. Some of these animals are tiger, lion, elephant, deer, blackbuck, crocodile, rhino, snow leopard, ostrich, and peacock. So what are the methods that we have opted or we need to opt for the conservation of these natural resources? First of all, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves are made to protect our natural vegetation and wildlife. Second, we have conservation of creeks, lakes, and wetland is necessary to save the precious resource from depletion due to several human activities. Some of the natural habitats, some of the animals or the natural resources, they have extincted already, or they are on the verge of extinction. Awareness programs like social forestry and Vanu Mahotsav should be encouraged at the regional and the community level. Many countries have passed laws declaring that the trade as well as killing of birds and animals are illegal. In India, killing of lion, tigers, deers, great Indian bustards, and peacocks have banned. An international convention sites has been established that lists several species of animals and birds in which trade is prohibited. So these are some of the methods or the actions that are taken by the government or by the people. Mainly the people, they can spread awareness program about the social forestry and about the conservation of natural resources, about the conservation of the animal life, or the protection of animal life, protection of the plants. So some methods are adopted by the government or by the people to conserve the natural resources. Here, these are some questions for you. Have a good day.